On day 23. Congratulations once again. I got a little overexcited yesterday and explained kind of the angst phase, which is what you're going to be writing today. Usually we have 10 pages of the flight and the fleeing and finishing up that tent pole with the escape of the narrow, paper thin escape of the hero. And normally today and part of tomorrow, you are going to be working on the angst phase. Definitely, we need to stop running. We need to settle down. We need to get behind a mountain or something that protects us from the evil villain. But angst phase today, again, I talked about that pretty in depth yesterday, so you should know what you're doing today. This is definitely an angst day. Maybe your first, maybe your second. We're a little bit more loosey-goosey right here, but not too much. We can't stray more than five pages off from the general structure, because after the angst phase, we will be pivoting and marching towards our Mount Doom. We're going to be marching towards the climax. Today's topic are reviews and fan mail. Now, fan mail is absolutely as cool as it sounds. Actually, it's super awesome. So if you're struggling or difficulty, or even if you're writing okay but just finding it hard to find the time, I'm telling you, fan mail makes it all worth it. To have a stranger you've never met before read your book and say really nice things about it is pretty freaking amazing. So there is that to look for. It is the payoff. Finally, you get the spoils of war. So that is fantastic. Now, on the other hand, well, not on the other hand, there are reviews which are posted online. So fan mail to me is just mail that is sent to me directly. Maybe they left a review, but for the most part, the fan mail is very personal to me. That's what I'm talking about, fan mail. Then there's reviews. And 5- and 4-star reviews are, again, so awesome. If you have not written your own 5-star review for your book, I would strongly encourage it that you do it today. Because what you want to do is really say what you want the people to get out of this book. Great dialogue, great action, good character work, characters I fell in love with. I stayed up all night. I couldn't put the book down, things like that. And be pretty big and be pretty hyperbolic. I mean, a really glowing 5-star review. Because you need to kind of know what you're shooting for to know if you got there. If you don't commit to what you really want people to get out of this book, then it's going to be hard to know if you did a good job of getting that information across. So write your 5-star review today for your book, as glowing as humanly possible. Your inner critic may really kick up around this, and that's okay. Go listen to the fear, affirmations, and inner critic modules to help with that. I want a glowing 5-star review, because only then, once we start to get reviews, and even 5-star reviews need to sound very much like your 5-star. If they don't, then they're enjoying the book, but it's not the book that you intended, which is slightly awkward. So that's all the woohoo fan mail, 5- and 4-star reviews. We're loving it. Now there's 3-star reviews, which honestly bother me the most. That's going to sound really weird, but it bothers me the most. And usually 3 stars, couldn't get into it. Meh, bleh, whatever. That bugs me, because I want to affect people. I want to either have them love me or hate me. I don't like that middle ground. Luckily, I don't get many 3 stars. If you're getting a lot of 3 stars, then we're going to look at passive voice. We're going to look at POVs. We're going to look at a lot of things during the editing phase, if that's what you're getting. So now onward to the 2- and 1-star reviews. Dun, dun, dun. I strongly encourage you to go look me up, Carolyn McRae, and go look up my 1 stars. If you ever feel bad about yourself, just go read mine. 1 and 2 stars, and you'll feel better instantly about yourself. However, they're harsh. I mean, they're hateful. They're mean. They attack the book. They attack me personally. It's pretty intense. And the first time I had a 1 star, it was pretty horrific. So the first thing I did, because this is how I am, I always go research. So I went and looked at some of my favorite authors and went and saw that they had a bunch of 1 stars, and they were harsh and critical and horrible. And so I talked to a friend of mine, and he said, this is kind of just like a woman getting, girl getting her period, that it kind of sucks, but it makes you a woman. And getting a really harsh, horrible, abusive 1 star kind of makes you an author, a real author, if you get one of those. Now, if you're getting a lot of 1 and 2 stars, then obviously, and they're not super harsh, they're just, I really didn't like the book and here's the reasons why. If they're reasonable 1 and 2 stars, then you've got some problems. You should pay attention to them and go fix what they are angry about. What I'm talking about are malicious 1 stars that people just have nothing better to do with their lives. And the reason why 1 and 2 stars don't bug me that much, they sting initially, don't get me wrong, but I made them feel something. Even if they hate my book, I made them hate my book. And it's really hard to get people to feel. So I am happy that I did that I made them feel something and proved to them I was not the author for them so they can move on somewhere else. So those are 1 and 2 stars. I would say if you imagine those, my 1 and 2 stars are directed against you and that would break you in half, and trust me, these reviews can, then maybe publishing isn't for you. I'm not saying writing isn't for you. Maybe you want to write, maybe you want to write for your local group, or a very narrow market that you are interested in special needs children. And so you want to write a special needs book where the special needs child is the hero. That's fantastic. But if you look at my 1 and 2 stars and are just absolutely mortified by them, and if that was said about you, you would crumble, maybe broad publishing is not for you because you are going to get those. It just is the cost of doing business. So those are reviews, 1 and 2 star. Now, the other thing you do with 1 and 2 star, and I'll talk about this much more in marketing, is actually you use those 1 and 2 stars to develop your warning. I have a warning and everything. Hey, this is Indiana Style Jones action. This is buckle your seat. We're going to go. Because my 1 and 2 stars are over the top action, things like that. So I'm trying to make sure that people know what they're getting into. And my 1 and 2 star reviews help me to develop a warning to keep those people away. And also, of course, for me, if, this is huge action, I'm going to read it, right? So that warning actually drew me in and increased sales while keeping the people that probably don't like my book away. And then, of course, I test my theory of how good my book is versus my 4 and 5 star reviews. So hopefully that was helpful today. Today is Angst Day. You may be finishing up the angst today or carrying on till tomorrow. Either way, I wish you the best day possible.